Hey, what is up, guys? I am here today with my review of the 76151 Venomosaurus Ambush. It came out on June 1st, year 2020. Has a piece count of 640. The Venom T-Rex stands at about 7 inches tall. It comes with 4 minifigs. We got Spiderman here, Spider-Ham, Iron Spider, and Venom. It also comes with this little skeleton, and of course the Venomosaurus. The Venomosaurus appeared quite briefly in Old Man Logan, but it's something that kind of stuck with me and I'm sure a lot of other fans. But notably, it's actually called the Venomosaurus in the comics and Venomosaurus in Lego, so they might have missed out on that one a little bit. Now just a quick look at the back of the box. We have a little bit of art about the whole set. You know, nothing too major and nothing too uninteresting either. And from the back of the box to the unbox, let's see what we have here. We seem to have a lot of bags. That's cool. We have 4 numbered bags, 1 unnumbered, but it's literally just wheels, which is fairly handy. We got 2 instruction manuals. That's interesting. I guess one is for the little spider bike, and one is for Venom. Yes.
And one for Spider Pig.
Yay! We got stickers. We got 4 numbered bags and 1. We will let you know how this goes. So, we opened bag 1 and it seems to just be instruction booklet 1, which seems to be his little dune buggy or whatever you want to call it. And something interesting I found about opening this packet is there's a new piece. This is 2020 exclusive. It's only been in 3 sets. It's been in a Spider-Man set, it's been in an Avengers set, and a Ninjago set, all released in 2020. I'm glad to see them keeping on updating this kind of stuff. The last one I had was the first one they made. And this is quite interesting because it's not even round on the top. It's kind of, you know, cross-shaped, and it has all these kind of things. I'm assuming it goes in here. It seems to be the only place it goes, but we'll let you know. And it comes, of course, with a brick separator. Nice and orange. How rare is that? Yeah, we'll let you know how the first bag goes, and we'll be back when it's finished. And we are done. Okay, so one thing I will say is, for the 4-year-old's point of view, these kind of bits were kind of hard. She got bored halfway through, so it's not kind of as easy as one of the other sets I did make with her, like the 4+ Snow Speeder, which is on hand. This was really easy for her. She just made it in seconds, and we'll get to a review about that. But yeah, no, I do like it. I'm not a fan of Lego cars like this one, unless they're like the Cyan or like the proper job. But this I actually like. I like how they added, if you can see it there, just a 1x1 tile to really fill in that gap. And as you can see, Spider-Man fits nicely in there. I kind of like the fact that they have this tile here, because it you know, the cheese slope, because it really does stop it and it makes it stay in the right place. It makes those exhausts stay in the right place. Whereas the Joker's car over here, you can see it's just a bit of a nightmare because they never really do stay in the right place. And like during play, which Ava does a good bit with this one, they just all kind of go they're all over the place, really. Same with the elastic bands. I'm not really a fan because they don't really do that much for the set, and they're kind of needless. That chicken always falls off. But with this one, we got elastic bands, and as soon as I put them on, I was, oh no, not more elastic bands. But after a little bit of, like, all the wheels move independently of each other. So this one will go up and the rest of them will stay down. I mean, it's actually pretty handy. It makes it really feel like a true spider buggy, you know? Like, I mean, it's unstoppable once it gets going. Something I always do like about the Lego cars, the small builds, is these, you see the little red translucent parts that imitate the lights? I always liked that. I mean, it's something so simple but so effective. They always integrate them into the cars, which is, I think, is pretty good. So yeah, we'll get back to the review in a minute or two. Something I also found was all of your little spider webs and stuff are in there with the packet for the wheels. So if you just want to get out that stuff, then you know where they are. So opening up bag 2, and I'm just confused, right? These are not stickers. They're not stickers. They're not at all stickers. These are stickers. That's a sticker. That spider. It's the same piece as that. Why don't you print these? That is my question. Print the pieces, please. Something I noticed, the skeleton, it just reminded me that the spider ham is gone. It just reminded me that the old skeletons had little beads on the arms. I've had skeletons since. I've had skeletons like this since. But they had little beads on the arms, and I just miss it. I know it's not practical because you can't choose which way the arms go, but I just miss them. And this piece, interesting. We got the... It's interesting. I've never seen it before. It's like a little flower. Spider ham is obviously a bit difficult. It's just, yeah, I like it. It's interesting. And I love these colours. Even though they might be a bit, you know, they're needles. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. But, yeah, there's some interesting pieces in here. Let's see what happens. So, on bag 3, where you're starting all of this, and I found a new piece. It's not a new piece to you, but it's a new piece to me. I have not seen it before because I've mainly been buying Lego Star Wars. It's been in, well, a lot of Hero Factory, Ninjago. It's been in some Lego City sets. It was released in 2011, so it's not a new piece by any means. But that's something new I found. Yeah, nothing else really sticking out. I mean, those kind of white pieces are cool, but yeah, nothing else sticking out. We'll get you an update at the end of the bag. On to bag 4, and there's, to be honest, nothing new in here. But at this stage, I've done every other bag, so it just feels kind of weird not to do this bag. And it might look a little bit different because I moved to Spain. No, it got bright for some reason. The sun is absolutely blinding now for some strange reason. It was miserable earlier on. But, yeah, there's Venom, you know, sneak peek. And I'll get back to you when this is finished. Just when you think you've got Lego figured out, I was doing the teeth and realised that they weren't the teeth. What's going on? What is happening? It's built! We finished it! And to be honest, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Something I didn't mention actually, I didn't notice that this was actually like a mouth, just like a Venus flytrap kind of looking thing. And I didn't actually mention that these pieces were new, and also that piece, the egg looking piece, was new. Well, new to me. I haven't actually checked it up yet or anything. This, it's all finished. It's all finished, what can I say? We can get on to the review now. So, we're on to the minifigs, and I do think it's one of the better selections for a Spider-Man set, and it did help me make up my mind when I was deciding what to get. I wanted the Venomosaurus, wasn't really too pushed about getting the buggy with it or any of the attachments or the play features with it. I just wanted the set, and to be honest, at that price, it wouldn't really have piqued my interest, but the fact that I got Iron Spider and Spider Ham with it, and Venom with his 4 arms, it's pretty cool. Now, I would prefer Venom with the 4 tentacles on his back, but the arms are pretty cool too, because you can add attachments, and we'll get to that now, because we're going to start with Venom. Now, Venom, as you can see, comes with 4 attachments, and they suggest putting the 2 left ones into his actual hands, like his front hands, but I think it works better if all of the attachments are just in his back 4 hands, because then it leaves his front hands free. Pretty neat attachments. One, I think, is a shield. We got a web shooting out from another one. We got a web that's trying to ensnare somebody, which is this one up here. And then we got, like, you know, this kind of axe kind of thing, which is, you know, pretty cool detail, pretty interesting. The figure itself is pretty basic. They've used this print for a while. and there's not really much to say about it really. It's good. There's no back print on the head. The torso is pretty accurate, you know, it looks well, and the forearms and the back really give that kind of tentacly kind of feeling that the symbiote gives off, you know. Pretty good fig, pretty well done. Now on to Iron Spider. Iron Spider is a pretty decent figure. Love the colours, love the gold colours in it. The gold is quite shiny. It's not really doing justice on this camera, but it is fairly shiny, and maybe at that angle. Plus you can see all those little lines that kind of imitate the Iron Man mech that is used to make the Iron Spider suit, which is pretty cool. And you can see it again on the back of the head here, which I think is pretty interesting that they went to that trouble of actually adding that in. The gold claws for arms, I mean, definitely a great feature. The gold hands themselves, pretty cool. I've mentioned that these gold pieces were in Ninjago, and I'm assuming the gold hands have come from Ninjago as well, but again, I don't really buy much else other than Star Wars, so I won't be able to really tell much about that. The gold eyes also are a bit shiny. Just all around a very decent figure, very well printed, and a lot of thought gone into it. Spider-Ham. We're on to the amazing Spider-Ham minifigure. Now, it comes with these small legs, the legs that don't bend and they don't have any holes in the back to sit down or anything. And the torso is pretty well printed. Now, something I didn't think they would do with the torso is print a different one for Spider-Ham. They've given him a bit of a belly, as you can see, and the spider on the back is different. And I didn't think they'd do that. I think it's quite amazing when you consider the fact that they've moulded the head specifically for Spider-Ham. I mean, they kind of have to do that, but I didn't think that they would go to the trouble of printing the torso as well when Obi-Wan from Mustafar is on Utapau, you know. But, again, fair play to Lego. It's a very decent figure. I like the figure. It really pushed me to getting this set was the fact that Spider-Ham was here, and I love the figure. It's a very good figure. No back print, but again, on the head, but again, it is definitely a good figure for what you get. Now, for the Spider-Man figure. Yet again, it's a pretty common print, and there's not really much to say about it other than it's good. You know, it's well done, you know, it's getting the point across really well there. You can see the back, you can see a little bit of printing on the back of the head. They didn't have to do that at all, but they just did. They went that extra mile. And they've been printing this for a few sets. Like, this isn't all that new, you know. It's a very good figure. It's a pretty decent minifigure selection all around. On to the build. We're going to start with the mini build and then work our way up in size. So, first off, we have this little thing. So, what's interesting about this is I didn't know from the box that it's actually kind of like a Venus flytrap thing, like a crunchy, and that's a tongue. Or, not really a tongue, but kind of a tentacle kind of thing. Not sure what's going on with this guy. It's a little egg. I'm not sure what this is supposed to signify either. You know what? None of it really makes that much sense, but I feel like it's just kind of in there for the sake of it, and it signifies the fact that Venom here is taking control of everything, you know, like he does, which is pretty cool. I mean, it was nice and easy to make. It was kind of nice to make, actually, if I'm telling the truth, but this whole attachment here with the skeleton going on, it's just a bit, it doesn't really show you that well how to attach the skeleton to it. And to be honest, I'm probably going to take the skeleton off and use it as a minifigure, to be honest, on its own. Yeah, I would give that, you know, 10 out of 10 for what it's supposed to be, but for the sake of a set, you know, give it 3. Now, with the Spider Buggy, I had an easy time making it. It was the easiest out of the three things we got. It was the most straightforward, but I will say, as a 24-year-old, I'm not sure was it just the stickers or the colour pattern or the fact it really is a kiddish build, but I felt very childish making it, you know. I mean, that's not saying that it's not a great set. I mean, I don't know if it really exists in the comics, does it? But it's good. I like the fact that the wheels, I usually hate these elastic bands here, but I do like the way the wheels kind of all work one by one. they will like go up as like they need to, which is pretty cool. Like a few sets I've seen with the rubber bands don't actually do that. They kind of uniform it as one to make hydraulics. So either it's back or to the side or something. But this really does feel like a spider buggy with all that movement. As I said, the build was easy, but that's not saying it was simple enough to be bad. Like these little parts here, the translucent red pieces to signify lights, are integrated into the set, which is pretty cool. And also I said earlier about these cheese slopes, which keep the vents in the right place, because if they didn't have them, like a lot of things don't, they would just kind of get all over the place and it wouldn't be great for display. Now this isn't really a display set in fairness, but I will probably end up displaying it because Ava usually only plays with like Lego friends and Disney princesses and stuff, which is fine. The stickers, I don't like stickers. I'll just say it here first, I don't like stickers. They were okay stickers, they're easy to put on, but again, they're stickers. Just print the pieces, Lego, you've done it before, you know how to do it. It's easy. Do it, please. I will say, they didn't use a 2-piece there, they used a 4-piece. So if any child does go and play with it and jam Spider-Man into it, there is that chance of his legs just ripping off. Now I will try and demonstrate that, but usually it doesn't happen with a set that's brand new out of the box. See, it was kind of tough, and if you'll see that, even with the brand new set straight out of the box, his has come apart a little bit, which is a bit of a problem. Now they've done it on the back of the Venom, we'll get to that, but it's different, you know. I will say, however, that I loved this, making this part, but when I was pressing these parts in, the whole thing collapsed, which was kind of disappointing. And there was some flimsy parts to the build, but most of them this was separate to this, and it was sturdy, which was good. From a display point of view, it is pretty good. Like the head is on a swivel here, you can see that, so it has full posability there. These are little clips, you can see detected clips that you're very used to. You can only move one place or down, but that's fine. And if you kind of fiddle around with it enough, even randomly, you do kind of get very realistic looking T-Rex poses, you know. So there is great posability in the set. But one thing I will say is, you see how the legs are coming up, the heels are kind of coming up there a little bit whenever it's angled in a certain way. That is one problem, but if you just push that down yourself and like level everything out, it should fix itself there, which is fine. But again, that is just one small problem on the posability side of things. The tail can move very well, and the only other bad thing I would say for this is the fact that the knees don't move. We've seen that before. I think we've seen it in the UCS Hulkbuster where the knees don't move, but you do have 2 points of articulation here at the feet and at the hips there, which, you know, it does still leave a lot of room for great poses. One other thing about the build I will say is I really like how they have these little tentacle kind of pieces for the eyes. It really gives that authentic look of a Venom eye. And I think one of the last things now I have to mention is the fact you can take out the tongue and close the mouth if that's what you want to do. I don't know why you want to do that, because I would prefer if the tongue was out, you know, proper Venom, mouth open like a roaring Tyrannosaurus. But if you wanted to close the mouth on a character for display, that would also be kind of interesting. Yeah, I think that's it for the display side. Now, playability. Playability is tops out of all this, to be quite honest. Like, I mean, you can open and close this mouth to pretend that it's biting things. Like, say if you wanted to get Spider-Man in there and go nom 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 nom, and he was, you know, trapped in there or something, that could work. Also, it doesn't work for any of the other characters, but it does work for the skeleton. He gets trapped in there too, and you can pretend all kinds of things with that. Actually, that stays on surprisingly well. Usually you pop this off and it comes off, you know the crack if you know Lego, but it actually stays on there pretty well. Now the buggy for playability is just great. In fairness, it is. As I said, the wheels move on their own completely without the other four, which is great. You know, you can go over my hand, or you can, you know, go over nothing the other side. You know, it's great. It is. You have this cannon, which, if you see, of course, fires. Boom, boom. It has great kind of maneuverability there. You can fire it straight up into the air in case something is flying. And you can sit somebody.
So anyone you want can sit in it. And
you can sit somebody in here.
Like Spider-Pig.
Like Spider-Man. And then Spider-Pig can go up here and man the cannon. So that's pretty cool playability. Or you can even, if you want Venom to team up with them, you can do that. That's great. Again, great maneuverability, great playability. And pretty sturdy. Again, if this falls, there's only about 1 or 2 pieces. If you want to see it, there's only about 1 or 2 pieces going to fall off. You know, that didn't work. So, we're back after that little mishap. Now, I was kind of right. 2 pieces fell off when it fell. This part here, which is fine, you know, we found it, no problem. And 1 wheel came off, which is fine. I mean, this was completely untouched. This whole upper chassis was fine. So that's great for playability, I have to say. Now, on to Venomosaurus. It's got a lot of ways you can pose it. You can move the head up and down. You can move the neck in 2, so you can move it like it's going up that. Or move it down so that it's rawr. Open up the mouth. You can take out and in the tongue. Take it out. Put it back in. Simple. You can take it out to close the mouth. That's the main feature for it. Or, you know, just if you don't like the tongue, that's fine. Move the arms and hands. I think these are pretty cool because either Lego just skipped out and gave them tiny hands for fingers, or it's actually Venom fingers, which means there's tiny little fingers and it's all tentacly and stuff, which is pretty cool, you know. It makes sense. So that's one thing. Also, you got a good bit of maneuverability with this tail, of course. You can store your little figure in there. I'm sure the skeleton isn't the only figure you can fit in there. But at one time I'd say it is. You can fit this part right under the chin so that you can have a little hostage. So as you can see, they clip on there. So you can have a little hostage. And also, Venom having all these attachments I think is just great because his tentacles do all of that stuff. You know, they do make this kind of thing, like they don't mention that quite a lot in comics and in toys and stuff anymore. They just think he's some big guy who's black, you know. Now, he can sit on the back of this guy, which is pretty cool. I think it's a bit inaccurate for the simple reason that they are the same person. But if you go into Venomverse, they're a different person, you know. Fine, it's fine. It can be explained and it can be detailed and stuff. And I think it's pretty cool for a playability point of view. And also, I will mention that they have the 2 studs in here instead of the 4. So you're not going to get legs coming off whenever you're taking people off of the T-Rex. Now, you don't have to have this on for people who would like to display it. And again, as you can see there, even just by accident, I've gotten a pretty cool pose. We open up the mouth there and I've got a pretty cool pose. Like he's shouting or screaming, you know, like it is a decent figure. I would say I'm going to enjoy displaying it. Ava is probably going to enjoy playing with it. And again, there's things like this, you know, if you want, you can get him to step on people and, you know, like stop you, you're not going to move, and you can probably get him to hold maybe Spider-Ham. We'll get Spider-Ham out of, I know it looks a bit suggestive, but it's not, trust me, it's not exactly what it's for. I'm sure you can hold Spider-Ham there. Yeah, he can hold Spider-Ham. I mean, it's a very good set for kids and for displayers, I think. Overview of the 76151 Venomosaurus Ambush. I think it's a decent set. In fairness, I do. I think it's a decent set. Like, for kids, It has a good bit of playability. Maybe this is a bit flimsy for some kids. I mean, like there might be bits kind of falling off here and there. Mainly the feet, tips of the tail, maybe the fingers sometimes, you know. But again, it is still fairly sturdy. Playability for this thing is great. All in all, together, I give the whole set maybe, let's say an 8 for playability, because there is quite a lot of things to do, quite a lot of attachments. You can put things in and out of places. You can, you know, there's a good bit to do. For a collector's point of view, I would give it maybe a 6, just based on the fact that all the attachments are there and they're kind of for kids, and you know, you got this build which collectors wouldn't really care all that much about. You got this which that collectors really wouldn't care about because it's not part of the comic book scene. It is, they just keep remaking the Spider Buggy in different ways, shapes and forms, just to kind of bulk out the Lego sets in relation to Spider-Man. You know, it is what it is. But I will say, however, the Venomosaurus is definitely one of the selling points for collectors, and the buggy would be definitely one of the selling points for kids. The characters are a selling point for both, because Ava loves the Spider-Ham at age 4, I love Spider-Ham at age 24, and Iron Spider there beside him is a beautiful figure. The gold is just so nice. The gold hands I've not seen before, but then again, they've probably been in a couple of Ninjago sets. And I would give the whole set maybe a solid 7 out of 10. So I just realised that I was saying that the buggy that comes with this fella isn't actually in any of the comics, and you know, it's just for the sake of it. But I saw something on TV called Lego Marvel's Spider-Man, and in an episode called Vexed by Venom, this thing appears with another thing that came in the set, this, which makes me believe that this and the little buggy I was talking about actually do appear in that show, which would make it not canon, but, you know, Lego canon. It would make sense. So, I've not actually watched any more of the show. I've just watched the one episode. I'm not sure if there is any more released, or is it just being released in my country, or what's happening, but updates on that maybe, if that becomes a thing. So, if you enjoyed my review, please give a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Comment below if you think I can do anything better, or if you think I've done anything pretty good. I'll be back with some more reviews. To be honest, I think that's the last Marvel review for a while. It'll probably be mainly Star Wars. Thanks guys, we'll see you again. Take care.